Everybody, welcome back to the stream. Is that good? That's good. All right. Yeah. There you go. Welcome back to the stream. Yeah, I got to rearrange my. I've got this heating pad thing that I've had for quite a while now. Uh, and actually, courtesy of Mara, who actually got it for me, which was great. I was talking about getting it, and then he got it for me, which was like really, really nice. I've hardly used it in the past few weeks. I don't have it on now. Ever since I got this lumbar support cushion thing on the back of my chair, I don't use it. My back is like much better now, and you need it, and you did, and it's worked great. But the thing is, I might be able to just take it off here now. You're still here, perfect. Good to know. Good to know. Glad you're here. Thank you for watching. And Strider Finn, hello, and hello to everybody else who joined in while I was away, like Metal Bear and Greg DG, yo, everybody. So it's interesting. So like I was saying earlier today, I have this this project I've been working on for over a month now, for music transcription stuff, and I finally basically put it to bed. They're late tonight, about an hour or so before the stream. So hooray, that's all done, right? So now, when I get up tomorrow, I won't have, okay, what do I do? I gotta do this. I won't really have anything right now, which is good. So one of the things that I will do is maybe I'll hook up get my Denon receiver back up, make sure that it's working, and set that up, and rearrange some of the stuff with my chair, things like that. I have to go shopping too. I gotta make a little shopping trip, just a little one, nothing huge. But yeah, I really wasn't sure if I was even going to be able to finish that thing. And interestingly enough, my actual deadline was the 27th, and I finished it today, like the 31st. So I was only like 4 days off, which was plenty of time. They've still got a couple of weeks before they have to do anything, so it doesn't go live. It doesn't go live until a few weeks from now, I think. Actually, here, just a second. I can figure that out right now. Not this. Is it that? No. Not, and not. There, that one. There you go. Oh, as long as I get it by the 5th of June. Well, they'll have it by the 5th, by golly. So there you go. Yippee. Ha ha. All right. Nice. And let's save all of those things. We are simulcast streaming. Yeah, usually watch on Twitch. I was quite surprised to see Kilgar hop over here. Very cool. Yeah, I'm streaming to both platforms now. Because why not? Why not, really? And you can still, and even over on Twitch, you can still, or over on YouTube, you can still follow the Twitch chat there as well, because I keep it on stream. What the heck? Excuse me. The heck was that all about? Hang on a second here. I got things going on. All right. Yeah, and I should specify on that. Actually, I should change that. Uh, if you're subbed to Twitch, if you're subbed to YouTube, it doesn't work yet until I'm monetized. So I can't hook it up to the Discord. But as soon as the YouTube channel is monetized, whenever that is, then I'll be able to do it with Discord as well. So you can sub to either one, right? And you get access to the Discord. So there you go. So meanwhile, right now it's just you have to be subbed to the channel if you care. And there's some fun things there. It's fairly active, it seems. So, meanwhile, what else was I going to say? The good old trout pond, yeah. Yeah, so also one of the other things too, of course, I want to talking about getting into the gym and all of that stuff. You're rewatching Casablanca on the 11th anniversary of your best friend's death. Hey, right on, man. Good for you. All-time classic, of course. You toast with your Diet Pepsi. Works for me, buddy. There, just a second. Kitty, what are you picking around at? Man, yeah, I got to do something about this. He used to get drunk and watch films together on IRC, him and San Diego and you and Moncton, right? I'm a Yanni guy. What can I say? I've got 10 minutes to blast away at here. But I don't know. Oh, I got to do. Did I have to? No, I don't have to do nothing. Do I? Just a second here. Let me bip that up. And then move that over a little bit. I should be able to. There we go. And close that up a little bit and then move it over a little bit. Something like that. There we go. You're also going to play Thief, the Dark Project, since it was his favorite game. Cool. And there you go. 210 subscribers on YouTube now. You still have your Thief 1, 2, and 3 boxes? Yeah, I don't have the boxes anymore. I do have the discs for them all. Even Deadly Shadows, yeah. Oh, man. Well, I mean, I could start hyping boxes. I could. But then there's going to be ads and stuff. Okay, tell you what, we'll still wait a few minutes and then we'll run the ads real quick. And then just get at it. Because I can't think of anything else to say. Yeah, and I was talking about possibly taking a couple of nights off or something. Because I haven't had a break. I can't remember the last time I had a break from streaming. And I don't, and if I did take a break, it wouldn't be for long. And I'm not saying that I am going to immediately. But the last time I took a break from streaming was probably when they did the renovations here, which was hardly a break at all. Because I couldn't really stream because I was living out of my bedroom. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly, and it'd be nice to take like it'd be nice to take a week off, just for the sake of having a week off, you know. The only thing about that, of course, is taking a week off is always sort of a iffy thing when it comes to. Yeah, but you see, there you go. See, I'm not saying I'm doing it now, and I might not even do a whole week. I don't know, but it'd be nice to stretch my brain a little bit and relax and be sensible. You know, Dig Inferno, yo. So it's just a brain relaxation thing rather than stressing myself out all the time. Um, because as I was saying, there are days when well, I'll give you an example. Tonight, tonight's a good example. I'm fine. I'll stream. I'm streaming. This is okay. I'm not forcing myself. I'm not forcing myself to stream. I'm not driving myself like, oh, I better stream, or anything like that. But tonight is one of those nights where I was working all day, and then an hour before stream, I finished off the work that I was doing. I went and I put some dinner together, stuffed my face, waited for the cat to jump on me, and then and now I'm streaming for 6 hours. So this would have been a good night. This would have been a good night to just not stream, you know? And I have days like that, which are where it would be good. But now I got a kitty I locked her out. And it is good to take a break every once in a while just to unwind and and Yannicate. The kitties have a castle. Oh, they've had that for a while. They've had that for quite some time. A couple of years anyway. Maxine, how you doing, man? But anyway, this is just something that pops up into my brain every once in a while. It's been so-so. I don't remember that box with arches, but it might be just your faulty memory. Well, originally I just had the a small single thing that over on the side there, but that thing I've had for a couple of years now. I didn't have it back with Armcat and whatnot. Armcat didn't have a cat tree, but these varmints do, and they use it. Oh, she was a pizza box addict. Yes, until I finally had to throw it out. For those who don't know, my previous cat, Armcat, she used to sleep on a pizza box. She just started sleep. It was on the floor, and she laid down on it, went to sleep one night. So I left it there, and she just kept. That's where she used to go to sleep, on her beloved pizza box. There was no pizza in it and anything like that. It was sanitary. It was, she just liked sleeping on it, so I couldn't bring myself to throw it out. Occasionally beat the shit out of it in frustration. I miss that critter. She's so diabolical. The What's interesting is that the other cats, I mean, they're nothing. The cats are all so different. Willow and Armcat share some things, but Armcat had just the right amount of venom. She was not a mean cat at all. And she was actually quite affectionate, but she had a mean streak. Unlike Willow, Willow's not mean. She's a little snickety, but she's not mean or anything. And she's certainly more affectionate. Both of these cats are. I'm surprised at how affectionate they are. And what's interesting, of course, is that Hazel is the one that I expected to be the most affectionate, and she is, but not very often. She usually just stays by herself and whatnot, and occasionally she'll come over. Whereas Willow won't leave me alone generally. Wacky critters. Okay, I tell you what. No, cats. Well, the thing is, cats are also. I've mentioned in the past. Like to me, cats, unlike dogs have personalities, and they're generally very similar. But they all have different personalities and whatnot. But they're responsive and they're but cats. There's something about cats where that every single cat is completely different. At least for me, they are anyway. Dogs are, I love dogs. Don't get me wrong, but dogs, I find they have their own personalities as well, but not the way that cats do. Cats are very fussy, very independent, very different. Whereas cats, I mean, you can train dogs. You can train dogs to behave. Whereas with cats, you can just hope that they adapt to some of the things that you're trying to get them to do. But by and large, you can't train a cat. In certain ways you can, but not really, because otherwise they just do what they want. But you can sort of guide them in certain ways, and maybe they'll listen, but they don't always. And you come to an agreement with a cat. But they're all but personality wise they're all different. Some of them are really snarky, some of them are paranoid, some of them are really like fearless, some of them are they're all over the place. And you can never predict. Okay, look, I'm just going to run these ads. I'm going to run the ads, okay? Cuz yeah, do. See, that's the other thing too. At least on now, I don't know on YouTube if you can arrange to have ads run at certain times. It would be nice to be able to run the ads on YouTube and on Twitch at the same time so that you can stop, and not have the stream interrupted by ads that just randomly occur. Somehow I don't think that's how it works on YouTube, but I don't know. We'll find out eventually, I guess. Do, 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 do. A minute and 50. Okay. Your ad was a 2-second screen that said ads. We're starting. But that's good. If you don't get ads, good for you. That's fine. Do, 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 do. And let me just reset this. And there we go. Well, we made it to 108 this month. In March we had 111, in April we had 112, and in May we had 108. So there you go. For our Partner Plus. So we're squeaking by every month. So we get the 60-40 splits up until June 1st, 2027, which is not bad. Not too bad at all. I can't complain. Really. Okay. Sniffle, snort. Well, that's the other thing, too. I want to arrange to get an appointment with the eye doctor. Again, get my prescription checked and all that stuff. That'd be a good idea. And the ads are done. Hey, look, I've got what you call boxes, and I've got what you call movies. I'll show you the boxes and the movies, which I've shown you before. I have. We'll do it again. I'll show you the boxes, and then I'll show you the movies, and then we will continue with more of Gabriel Knight, the Beast Within, which we may or may not finish. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to finish it. Probably. If not, we'll finish it tomorrow for sure. But in any case, here's a game that I should play again soon, because I've played this one a couple of times. I know this is going to get a reaction from Borjanon, I'm sure. But this one, John Saul's Blackstone Chronicles. Blackstone Chronicles. This game is so hugely underrated, in my opinion. It's a great game. It's well worth the effort to get a hold of a copy of this. John Saul, of course, is a novelist, author who wrote many, many books about ghosts and ghost stories and whatnot. Quite a successful writer. And he was also a gamer. And he happened to know Bob, what's his name? Bob, I can't remember his name. I'll tell you in a second. He was the CEO of Legend Software, and he Legend Entertainment Software, and he, being a gamer, thought, this Blackstone Chronicles that I'm working on, which was basically a series of stories about an asylum. He thought it would make a good idea for an adventure game, and so he got a hold of his friend from Legend, and they loved the idea, so he worked on it. So this is one of those examples of a game that was actually developed by an author who basically worked with the company to make a game that he wanted to make. Hence, it's called John Saul's Blackstone Chronicles, an adventure in terror. The idea and the story behind this is that if you've read the Blackstone Chronicles, which honestly I haven't, if you've read those, you would know a bit about the past, but you don't need to read the books to get to the story. So the Blackstone Chronicles. The Blackstone was an asylum, and the stories in it basically told of people who were patients at the asylum and stuff like that. So where this game picks up, you're this guy's son, the guy who was the caretaker of this asylum for years, and he was your father, and he had since passed away, and the asylum was closed, and he was going to reopen it as a museum because it was old, and it had a lot of these features about the history of mental illness and such, going back through the century, you know, and you go there the night before the place is supposed to open to the public, to discover that as cheesy as this sounds, it actually works really well in the game. You encounter your father's ghost, who is kind of upset that you did not continue his work and follow in his footsteps and work as you know, in the field that he did. He was very and he decides to basically kidnap your son, your little boy, and you have no idea where the little boy is, because he's saying that basically he's going to take your son from you and train him to grow up and take over and you know, the job that you wouldn't do. So the whole idea of the game is that you're exploring through this asylum trying to find your son and whatnot. As goofy and cheesy as it sounds, it actually works out really well. It's a very cool story. And the other thing about it too is that you spend a lot of time exploring this asylum and seeing the exhibits in this place and encountering other spirits who were patients at this asylum. So you read a lot about a lot of the old methods of dealing with mental illness, and some of them are very disturbing, but it's all actually historically accurate. These are all things that were done in many places, you know, back in the 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s, etc., you know. But anyway, it is a sort of a Myst style game. It was released by Red Orb, which were the company that took over Myst. There was a free copy of Myst in here, although I think I've taken it out of here. But anyway, it's a really cool game in that sort of a style where you click the direction you want to go to, and it's all point and click with some dialogue choices and stuff like that. Welcome to Blackstone Asylum. Anyway, here's the thing. But open it up. I think that's it. Yeah, this doesn't flip open. So there you go. Now, the nice thing about this game that's really cool is that it comes with 2 copies of the game. One is a high definition version, and the other one is a low definition version. So basically, whatever computer you're running, you know, when the game came out, if your computer was not up to snuff, you could still play the game in a low resolution and whatnot. Or you install the high resolution and play it in 640 by 480 or whatever. What a drag. Which is a really cool option. And one of them has all the movies on it, and it has animated features and such, Anyway, there's the manual right here. And there is a little explanation here that I should read. I usually do. But it also has some stuff about the asylums and mental health and stuff like that. But here's a letter from John Saul. This is it's not too long. It's we can get through this. It says, "Dear player, for many years I wandered the streets of Blackstone. I walked around the old asylum, strolled up Harvard Street, and dined in the Red Hen Diner. Of course, all of this occurred inside my mind, and it wasn't until 3 years ago that I finally put pen to paper and crafted the Blackstone Chronicles, which was the first published as a 6-installment serial novel, and has now been collected in a one-trade paperback volume. As I was putting the first words on paper, I knew the story of the town of Blackstone was perfect for an adventure game. I am an old computer gamer going back to the days of Zork, when the adventure was all in text, and I was delighted to have finally come up with a project that could adapt easily to the gaming world. Bob Bates, that's the guy's name, of Legend Entertainment, also delighted in the project, and a partnership was developed to produce John Saul's Blackstone Chronicles and Adventure in Terror. Mindscape believed in the project too and quickly joined forces with us. Together, Bob and I, and all those assisting in the project, wove a game we believe is compelling, scary, thrilling, and fun. Those of you who have never visited Blackstone are in for a treat. You will walk into a world where it is hard to distinguish the real from the imaginary. You will meet the sane, the evil, the crazy. You will go back in time to a time when people were conveniently put away and then tortured in the name of treatment. And if you are successful, you'll be the one to help reunite a lost family. Those of you who have read the novels are finally going to step into the asylum and meet all the people you've grown to know. You too will step back in time to find out what actually happened inside the asylum before the novel began and discover what happened to some of those you learned to love or loathe. So we made sure the Blackstone game stands alone. You don't have to read the novels to enjoy the game, but after you played the game, you may want to go back and read the novels in order to enhance the entire Blackstone experience. I must tell you what a thrill I had entering the world the game created. I could finally reach out and touch the dark, cold stones of the old asylum. I could finally hear the voices of my characters. It was as if my fantasies had at last become a reality. But that's the problem. I'm still not sure my senses have not been fooled. So again, I enjoy taking you, the gamer, by the hand and introducing you to the world of Blackstone. Now turn off the lights, turn down the heat, turn up the speakers. Grip the mouse lightly, and come with me to Blackstone. Don't be afraid. Trust me. You'll return home safely, I hope. Adventurously yours, John Saul. So hey, anyway, it's a very, very cool game, and I will play it again soon. I'll replay it again soon. I've played it. I've streamed this a couple of times over the years. I'll stream it again. You won't see me streaming this though. There's an ad for Riven, the sequel to Myst, because if Myst was not obscure enough, Riven most definitely is obscure as all get go. Which is enough reason for people to say, "Hey, I should try that game then." Yeah, you go ahead. It's not a terrible game. It's just bring a walkthrough with you because you're going to need it. You're going to need it. That reminds me. What's happened to Hippolito Pichardo? He hasn't been. He seemed to have come back, but then he left again. He was streaming and then he stopped. Oh, great presentation! Yeah, of really shitty, trolly Nova Logic Moon Logic puzzles. But anyway, the Blackstone Chronicles. You know. And thought I'd pull this out because why not? There's the Heroes of Might and Magic Millennium Edition. 4 great games, really 3 and a half great games, really. 3 games on an add-on. But this is Heroes of Might and Magic, the Millennium Edition, which also has a free 15-day internet trial courtesy of Earthlink, which I never used. From 3DO, of course, New World Computing. This has the original Heroes of Might and Magic down here in the bottom. The original Heroes of Might and Magic. Heroes of Might and Magic 2. The expansion pack for Heroes of Might and Magic 2, Price of Loyalty, and Heroes of Might and Magic 3. All 3 in the one package. And I'll say what I always say when it comes to this game. I played a lot of the first game, and I played a fair amount of the second game, and I got into the third game as well. These are types of games where, for me, I always find I'll play them for a while, and then after a while I'll be too swamped, and the game gets too hard and whatnot. But I still have fun with them. That's the thing about the Heroes of Might and Magic games, to me, and strategy games in general, is that you generally have to devote a lot of time to really working out how to how to properly play them so that you can defeat each different stage and continue on into it. But for me, I always reach a point where I can't deal with it anymore. It's just too hard. But hey, but up until then, I have a lot of fun. And that's the way it was for me with Heroes of Might and Magic 1. And Heroes of Might and Magic 2 as well. But Heroes of Might and Magic 1, when it first came out, and I was not familiar with the King's Bounty games necessarily, so this was a new experience for me. But it was just it's just a cool whether you're whether you're a strategy game player or not, they're very easy to get into, and there's a lot of depth to them, and you can play them like it's an RPG, because in a way it kind of is, but it's a mix of genres in a way. It's a strategy game sort of and a base building game sort of thing, but also disguised as an exploration RPG sort of thing. So it's easily one of the great strategy games. And the other thing about it too is that it's also turn-based, which is really my cup of tea. It's not real-time strategy. You can take your time and figure out what you want to do, where you want to go. And even in the big battles between you and trying to break into somebody's castle and stuff, it's turn-based. So yay. But anyway, marvelous collection of games. And also it's a good point to bring up with Neil Halford, who wrote a book on the Heroes of Might and Magic series and released it not too long ago. Still available. But anyway, this is the entire collection of those in one of my favorite style of cases for CDs, like this, because there's no way for these discs to come out unless you pull them open, and then you can take them out. They fold up like that, and they have this little spindle thing, and then you can get all the games out. See? And there's one disc for Heroes of Might and Magic 1, one for Heroes of Might and Magic 2 with the expansion, and one for the other one. And also, if I'm not mistaken, I think there's the manuals are also on these two in PDF files. Except for, see, here it says it's a manual. This says it's a manual, but really it's not really a manual. It's how to install the game and launching the games and the game backgrounds. Accessing the game manuals, they're actually on the disc in PDF form, which is okay. Here's a Might and Magic 2, The Succession Wars and the Price of Loyalty. That was the add-on, yeah. And then customer support and troubleshooting and all that stuff. Anyway, there's that. And there's the installation guide for all of the games, the system requirements, etc. And there's also a catalog of games from 3DO. Of course, you got all the Might and Magic series, Crusaders of Might and Magic, the Army Men games, Army Men, another bunch of tough games. High Heat Baseball, yeah. Anyway. And an itchy nose. Plop. So anyway, here's a Might and Magic, the Millennium edition. Yo. What did I get here? Oh yeah. Okay, here's this. I get this and I get that. Well, I'll show you this because why not? I don't know why I pulled this one out exactly, but there you go. This is the 4K edition of Apocalypse Now. With the cool cover, with there's There's Willard. And if you look at the upside down part, there's Kurtz reflected. It's kind of cool. Its own little weird little way. This is a very good rendition of the movie, by the way. This also has the final cut. It has every version of the movie. Uh, it has the theatrical edition, it has the Redux version, and it has the final cut. And still to this day, I think the theatrical version is still the best version of the movie. The final cut would come in second for me. There are some additional features that the final cut adds that are really not that bad. But some parts really drag it down, I think. But and the Redux version, they put back everything practically that they shot, and a lot of the stuff that they put into the Redux version really bogs the movie down. There's a point later on in the movie where the guys are going up the river and they encounter all the Playboy bunnies that were at the USO show and whatever, and there's a scene with them that's completely and totally unnecessary and just doesn't add anything to the movie whatsoever. It's not that the scene is bad, it's just pointless. It really doesn't help. And there's a bunch of other things like that they're just scenes that were put in that just don't matter. They don't do anything. The one scene, the plantation scene in this, there's a French plantation where these people from France who have this plantation that their generations of people have been there in Vietnam and they've lived there. And there's a scene with them that is actually kind of interesting and whatnot. But even that doesn't really need to be in the movie. But it is a decent scene. But ultimately, when it all comes down, for me anyway, the theatrical version of the movie is perfect. It's exactly what it needs to be. Why is it called Redux instead of extended? Redux, as the word implies, that they're making new shots or plastering new things retcons to the movie rather than just adding in stuff they already filmed and took out. No, but the thing is, no, it's they didn't take it out of the original movie. There was stuff that they shot that they didn't put in the movie. When they made the movie, they shot all this stuff, and then when they edited it together, the theatrical version is what came out. And then years later, Coppola went back and did a remux of the movie and put in all this other stuff that was stuff that they did shoot before, and so he called it the Redux to differentiate it from the theatrical version. And then this includes his final cut, which basically pares back a lot of the stuff that was added in the Redux version. And some of the stuff I think he still should have taken out, but he didn't. But the Redux version is not bad. It's not a bad way to see the movie. If I wouldn't... Yeah, it's stuff they filmed, but they never put in. Yeah, exactly. And rightly so, I think, for the most part. You know, the theatrical version is the one that got me right away. And I saw this movie in the theater when it came out. I was in high school at the time. I'm trying to remember what time of year it was. I might have been just finished high school. It was in '79 anyway, and that was my last year of high school. So I was either in high school or just graduated high school, one of the two. I'd have to look it up and see. But the thing about this movie, it was one of the only movies that I have seen where I actually went back and saw it again, like the next night. I watched it. I went with some friends of mine. Went with some friends of mine because we were all looking forward to seeing it because we heard so much about it and all this stuff, and went to see it and blown away by it. Just thought it was an amazing movie, and I went back the following night to see it again. And interestingly enough, I watched the second time. I was also paying attention to the crowd, to the audience, because One thing about this movie is that there are a lot of funny scenes in it in the beginning, particularly. But as the movie goes on, it becomes less and less absurd and more serious and more dark uh, as it proceeds. And it's interesting to watch the movie and see people laughing and chuckling at scenes and stuff like that. But then eventually they just stop laughing because it's not funny. Um, and also, just it's a miracle this movie even exists. It almost never got finished. It almost, I mean, Martin Sheen had a heart attack when they were making it. Francis Ford Coppola thought he was going to be destitute because he basically tried to he financed the thing, sold his house, like he mortgaged his everything from his house and everything, all of his money, and put it all into this movie, and it was just a nightmare to make. And Marlon Brando shows up on the set, and he hasn't even read the book. He doesn't know anything, and they've only got him there for 2 weeks. Meanwhile, Marlon pulls off a lot of the stuff that Marlon Brando says in the movie is stuff he improvised. The whole horror scene where he's talking about the inoculating the children from polio and stuff like that, he made that up. He improvised all that stuff. It's amazing. Anyway, the movie itself is just one of the all-time great pieces of cinema, and like I say, it hardly ever. It's hard to believe that it even exists. Also, this collection also includes Hearts of Darkness, which is his wife, Vivian Coppola. His wife, I think it's Vivian. My goodness. I think his wife's name was Vivian. I can't remember. But anyway, she was filming throughout the whole process, just basically of the making of the film and whatnot. And after the thing was over and whatnot, she took all the footage and put it together and made this documentary called Hearts of Darkness about the making of Apocalypse Now. And one of the things that it shows is just how absolutely nutty and crazy the whole situation was. They would be, I mean, they're filming in the Philippines. The head of the leader of the Philippines, was it Marcos, I think, at the time. He was at war with some other people, and half the time he would take the helicopters they were using for the shots and stuff. They had to take them because they were going to use them to go bomb somebody or whatever. The entire set was destroyed by typhoons. Martin Sheen had a heart attack. A lot of it from the pressure of making the movie, and whatnot. And Coppola thought he was going crazy. And he didn't know. Like, there's scenes of him in this movie where he's talking about how he's got to go out and shoot stuff, and he doesn't even know what he's doing. Is he losing his mind? What's he done? What has he got himself into, But anyway, it's a magnificent collection of movies, and in 4K, the movie looks stellar. It's just an absolutely amazing film, and one of my all-time great film experiences. This is also one of the movies that I've watched in the IMAX, in the Cinesphere IMAX theater in Toronto, in 70 millimeter. A number of films that I saw at the Cinesphere that are just mind-boggling films, and just great to see in that theater. Good news for your mother. She's doing a lot better now, and you made time for the most important thing is that your mother's doing a lot better, which is great. Good to hear. I saw this. I saw 2001: A Space Odyssey. I saw Lawrence of Arabia. All of those movies I saw in at the IMAX, and other ones too. I saw Tron at the IMAX theater. That was actually really good to see in at the IMAX. But anyway, there you go. We got ads starting up here, so after the ads, we'll get back to the gamey game. Testing. Are you testing? Hoya Sharma, hello. We see you. I hope your test worked. By the way, I was looking at one of my early clips from streaming, back when I actually had red hair. It's interesting watching this fade over the years, but not this. I don't know why this doesn't. Twitch chat was bugged for 4 days. Your message were going into limbo. Oh, really? Oh, maybe that's tech nerd. Maybe that's what happened to Tech Nerd. He was having trouble with Twitch chat too for some reason. They just fixed it. Doodle doo 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 doo. Doo 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 doo. All right. You're back. Well, that's good to hear. I hope you're doing well. Doink. I'm just flipping up the partner plusy things. There we go. Ho, 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 ho. The holy shit opera time. I know I did live in Ontario for 37 years. But I'm in Newfoundland. I grew up in Newfoundland, and now I'm back in Newfoundland again. Trip was a little scary. Her blood glucose dropped pretty low, and we had to give her glucogen injection. Hardest part was making sure she had enough stable carbs, sugars, etc. to keep from dropping again. That said, the doc said it looked like a UTI. May have had a big hand in it. Oh yeah, I've had my share of UTIs. Let me tell you. The ad break is over. Ah, now let's. Ontario is a pretty place. So is Newfoundland, for that matter. Okay, let's do this here, with this here. Let's click on this. Click on that.